You walk into a cafe you swear you have never visited, yet every chair angle and scent feels logged somewhere inside. A stranger glances up, and your chest responds before your mind catches up. These flashes mark the edge of another lifetime brushing the current one. They surface when a scene, sound, or face matches a pattern already stored in your deeper memory, the strand that runs through many bodies. The signal is clear. A chapter from an earlier life is still relevant. The task is learning to read it instead of dismissing it as a neural hiccup. At birth, the nervous system is tuned for this single timeline. Holding vivid records of earlier lives would load the brain with grief, guilt, and unfinished fear strong enough to swamp day-to-day learning. A protective veil drops, allowing only the lessons to slip through as temperament, unearned talents, or persistent aversions. The practical mind can then focus on new challenges without the paralysis of centuries-old emotion. Once basic stability forms, clear sleep, balanced breath, steady attention, the veil thins on its own, letting selective memories pass in ways the current self can process and apply. Under every changing face and name, one core awareness keeps moving forward. It selects parents, culture, and body that supply the next set of lessons. Each lifetime finishes with a ledger: fear resolved or carried forward, skill honed or neglected, kindness planted or withheld. Only the distilled lesson travels. This traveling core is not impressed by titles or belongings. It hunts for understanding that moves consciousness toward wider compassion and sharper truth. Progress appears whenever a new situation triggers a wiser response than the one recorded in the inner archive. Past life fragments show up in ordinary moments. A child speaks a foreign dialect without exposure. An adult masters pottery on the first try, hands moving faster than thought. A sudden terror of deep water erupts even though no drowning incident exists in the current timeline. Dreams replay towns never visited, landmarks later found on a map. Relationships repeat the same push-pull until one party shifts behavior and the loop calms. Each of these signs points to unfinished business contained in the deeper record, waiting for recognition so it can be integrated and cleared. Modern life keeps the survival circuit humming. Phone alerts, traffic noise, process stimulants, and relentless news hold the nervous system in light fight or flight. When the brain stays busy scanning for immediate threats, subtle memory tracks from other lifetimes never reach conscious awareness. Attention splinters across dozens of microtasks, leaving no steady field where deeper images can surface. Ego attachment adds another barrier. Stories we tell ourselves about status, lineage, and belief lock perception inside narrow boundaries, filtering out information that might challenge the current identity. The result is a one-life tunnel view, even though the wider record remains intact beneath the noise. Clearing interference starts with simple hygiene for body and mind. A balanced day includes pockets of quiet time, whole foods that stabilize blood sugar, and limited exposure to blue light screens after sunset. 6-6 breathing, slow inhales and exhales for 6 counts, drops stress chemistry and opens sensory bandwidth. Digital boundaries matter. Silencing notifications during meals and before bed trains the brain to tolerate stillness again. Quality sleep is vital. Keep the room cool and dark, avoid caffeine late, and place a journal by the pillow. On waking, write any fragment from dreams before memory fades. Recurring symbols often match scenes from earlier incarnations. These foundational habits calm the surface layer of consciousness, turning it into a clear pool where past life impressions can rise without distortion. Step 1. Breath cleansing and body scan. Sit upright, feet flat on the ground, hands resting loosely on thighs. Draw a slow breath through the nose to a silent count of 6. Feel air slide down the throat, spread across the ribs, and widen the belly. Hold for a beat, then let the air leave for the same 6 count, sensing the spine lengthen as the lungs empty. Complete 10 of these cycles. Each exhale sends a quiet pulse through the vagus nerve, telling the heart to smooth its rhythm. A calm heart frees mental bandwidth and loosens the tight grip of immediate concerns. After the 10th breath, move awareness from crown to soles in 3 sweeps. First pass, notice any heat or tingling. Second pass, acknowledge tension without judging it. Third pass, on every exhale picture weight draining through the seat and feet into the floor. This staged release turns the body from static to conductor, ready to relay subtler impressions. The mind may drift. When it does, guide attention back to the count. 5 minutes of this practice clears sensory clutter and primes the inner screen for deeper images. Step 2: Third Eye Gateway. Focus attention on the point between the eyebrows, a space often called the inner seat of vision. Keep the breath at the 6-count tempo, but now add a gentle inward gaze. Without strain, sense a soft pressure or warmth in that small area. On each inhale, imagine a fine thread of light moving from the bridge of the nose into the center of the forehead. On each exhale, let the light widen, filling the upper skull with a cool glow. After about 20 breaths, drifting color clouds or faint shapes may appear behind closed lids. Do not chase them. Hold the steady breath rhythm and treat any image like a visitor arriving on its own schedule. If no imagery comes, stay with the glow. Consistency builds the circuit needed for recall. 3 to 5 minutes is enough for one session at first. Over days, extend the focus period by increments of 10 breaths, never forcing. The goal is a stable, receptive channel rather than vivid theater. Memories stored beyond the conscious layer transmit in subtle packets. A quiet third eye field is the antenna that receives them. Step 3: Heart field expansion. Shift attention to the center of the chest. Keep the 6-count breath, yet now imagine air entering and leaving through this point rather than the nostrils. On each inhale, sense a mild warmth gathering behind the sternum. On each exhale, let it radiate outward like a quiet pulse. After a dozen breaths, bring to mind a single memory that naturally stirs gratitude. A supportive friend, a moment of laughter, a scene in nature. Hold the feeling, not the storyline. Gratitude widens the electromagnetic field of the heart and raises the frequency range in which past life material transmits. Next, introduce forgiveness. Say inwardly, I release any bond of harm between myself and all beings, known or unknown. Do not search for faces. Let the phrase move through the emotional body like water through sand, carrying unresolved shards away. Forgiveness clears channels that karma signals along and prevents old memories from triggering fresh resentment. Maintain the heart focus for another 20 breaths. Signs of correct practice include a gentle swell in the chest, slight prickling at the back of the neck, or a sense of internal space becoming brighter. Gently open the eyes but keep movements slow. Record every image, word, or bodily sensation that surfaced. A symbol on a shield, the smell of a market, a sudden ache at the left shoulder. Write without editing. Later cross-check these notes with waking life. A medieval crest glimpsed in practice might match an emblem that catches your attention in a bookshop. A shoulder ache that faded during forgiveness could relate to a recurring injury now easing as emotional charge dissolves. Assign each fragment an action. A seaside vision could prompt a visit to water for direct resonance. An unfamiliar language sound might invite listening to recordings from that region to open further context. Use the material to heal present fears, refine talents, and balance relationships. If a session highlights unresolved power struggles, practice gentle assertion in daily dialogue. If a craft appears in memory, take a class to rekindle muscle knowledge. Aligning current choices with retrieved wisdom completes the loop and reduces the need for that lesson to repeat in another lifetime. Run the full 3-step meditation daily for 40 days and review journals weekly. Patterns clarify, memories deepen, and the border between lifetimes shifts from thick wall to porous veil, supplying insight exactly where it serves growth.